All right, ladies and gentlemen of the YouTube citizens, y'all know who this is. This is your boy Dash the True Inferno. Back at it with another Throwback Tunes on another Thursday, and this, I will admit, has been long overdue right here. I am reviewing the score by the Fugees. So this is actually their second and final studio album. This joint came out February 13th, 1996, and it was recorded from June all the way up to November 1995, the same year. And they gonna call this alternative hip hop, okay. And it was done under Rough House Records and Columbia Records as well. The producers involved were, I'm gonna butcher these names by the way. Pras, who was also executive producer. Wyclef, also executive producer. Lauryn here, as usual, and she was actually, her and Wyclef was actually co-executive producers actually. Jerry T. Bass Duplessis, Diamond D, John Forte, Sean King, Warren Riker, and Salam Remy. So yeah, there you go with that. And looking at the album, this is without question, out of the two albums that they came out with, their best one. If you look at the charts, if you look at the sales, if you look at the certifications. So this album was #1 on the Billboard 200. It was #1 on the top R&B/hip hop albums charts. Let's do this instead. It was #5 in the ARIA charts, which is based in Australia. It was #2 in the, okay, I'm not going to try to pronounce that. We're going to say the Swedish National Record Charts, in the UK charts, which is the official album charts. And it was #1 on the following. I already named two of them already, so I'm going to continue on with the #1. The 03, this like the 2000 over the O, Austria Top 40 charts, the Canadian album charts, the French album charts, I'm not going to pronounce his actual name, the GFK Entertainment charts, which is based in Germany, and the Swiss Hits Parade, which is based in Switzerland. And any more charts that were, oh my gosh, okay. Yeah, there's more. There's more. So it was #1 in the Belgian Ultra Top Flanders and Ultra Top Wallonia. It was #1 in the Dutch album charts, the French album charts, the Norwegian album charts, and the UK R&B album charts. It was also #3 in the Finnish album charts, #2 in the Italian album charts, and the UK album charts, and the Swedish album chart. Yeah, I mentioned that one already. #5 on the Scottish album charts, and then #4 on the New Zealand album charts. I believe that's it for all the charts. By the end of the year, 1996, excuse me, it was #1 on the German album charts and 6 on the Italian album charts. And by the end of the decade, 1999, it was 58th on the US Billboard 200 charts. Oh gosh, the certifications. It was platinum in the following: Australia with 70,000 copies, Austria with 50,000 copies, Belgium the same amount, Finland with 26,267 sales, the Netherlands with 100,000 copies sold, New Zealand with 15,000 copies sold, Poland with 100,000 copies sold, same in Spain and in Sweden. And it was gold in Japan with 100,000 copies sold, triple gold in Germany with 750,000 copies sold. It was 5 times platinum in Canada with 500,000 copies sold, the United Kingdom with 1.5 million copies sold. It was 4 times platinum in Denmark with 200,000 copies sold. It was diamond in France with 1 million copies sold. It was triple gold in Germany with, oh, I mentioned the triple gold already, I think, with 750,000 copies sold, in case I didn't. It was also gold in Norway with 250,000 copies sold rather. Double platinum in Switzerland with 100,000 copies sold. And in the US, it was 6 times platinum with 6 million copies sold. And also summaries, it was 6 times platinum in Europe as a whole with 6 million copies sold. And worldwide, it sold 18 million copies. So this joint is no joke. This joint is no joke. Now let's, oh God, the accolades. So actually, let's look at the rewards real quick. So it was nominated for, in all this from 1997, it was nominated for the Soul Train Music Awards Album of the Year. It was nominated for the Album of the Year in the Grammys, but it did win Best Rap Album. 1997 at the Grammys as well. There's a lot of accolades. It's a lot. I'm gonna be honest. I do not feel like going through all these accolades. This album is really good. It got accolades for album of the year, best album of the year. Top 100 albums by Black artists, 100 greatest hip hop albums, and so on. It got a lot of accolades. So there you go with that. Now let's get on with the track. So here's the deal. There's 13 tracks on the original. We're gonna go off of that because there is a bonus track, and that's on the CD version. And I will explain why I'm gonna go off the original joint. So I can only give you guys a top 3 and not a top 5. So here we go. The first track is called Red Intro, and as the name says, it's an intro, meaning that it's a skit. The next track is How Many Mics, followed by, in my opinion, the best Fuji song ever, Ready or Not, which is one of the 4 singles off of this album. Then we got Zealots with a Z, Z-E-A-L-O-T-S, followed by The Beast. Then we got Fugees, which is one of the 4 singles off this album. Next up is Family Business featuring John Forte and Omega, followed by what I consider to be their most successful and well-known track ever, Killing Me Softly, which is one of the 4 singles off this album, followed by The Score featuring Diamond D. Then we got The Mask. Then we got Cowboys featuring Pace One, Young Z, and Rod Digger. Then we got another single of theirs, No Woman, No Cry. Then we got 2 songs in one, or 2 tracks in one, Manifest / Outro. There you go with that. Then we look at this bonus track, which I did not listen to. We got 3 versions of Fuji Live. Track number 14, Fuji Live Refugee Camp Remix featuring John Forte. Fuji Live, the Sly and Robbie mix. Then we got Mr. Mister. And then track number 17 is Fuji Live Refugee Camp Global Mix featuring John Forte. So yeah, there you go with that. So again, I'm only gonna look at the original track, and that means I can only give you guys a top 3, not a top 5. So we're gonna start off with the first single off of this album, which is called Fuji Live. Joint came out December 13, 1995. And yes, there is a music video for this. Just wanna throw that out there. And let's see, it's the leading single off the album. Yeah, there's a music video for this. It was filmed in Jamaica, actually. And let's see, a little bit of background info. Producer Lauryn when we discussed the song's conception, saying, and I quote, "We actually were working on a song for Spike Lee's Clonkers movie that actually, that song never came out. So we had a song that we did for Clockers, and then during that session, Wyclef was like, yo, play that beat you did for Fat Joe, and Lauryn was like, yo, play that Fat Joe beat. And then when I played it, Clef jumped up and spit the first verse to Fuji Live. He had the verse, but it just fell all together, and then we worked on it. That song was actually done prior to the score. So a lot of the score's vibe was based around what that song was. So that's pretty interesting right there. Let's look at the charts. And I feel like with these singles, I'm gonna be focused. I'm gonna be, spend a lot of time naming these charts for these singles. If we got a hit from the album itself. 43rd in Australia, 14th in Austria and Belgium, Ultra Top 50 Flanders, 8th from Belgium, Ultra Top 50 Wallonia, 16th in Finland, 22nd in France, 6th in Germany, 7th in the Netherlands, Dutch Top 40 charts, 5th in the Netherlands Singles Top 100 charts, 11th in New Zealand, 38th in Scotland, 10th in Sweden, 9th in Switzerland, 21st in the UK Singles charts, 4th in the UK R&B charts, 29th in the US Billboard Hot 100, number 1 in the US Hot Dance Single Sales charts, 13th on the US Hot R&B / Hip Hop Songs charts, 26th on the US Rhythmic chart. And by the end of the year, 1996, it was 92nd on the Belgium Ultra Top Flanders charts, 53rd on the Belgium Ultra Top Wallonia charts, 41st in Germany, 63rd in the Netherlands Dutch Top 40, 56th on the Netherlands Singles Top 100, and 57th in Sweden. And the single itself was gold in both Germany and the United States. Germany with 250,000 copies, in the US with 500,000 copies, and it got a silver in the United Kingdom with 200,000 copies sold. So that's pretty good if I do say so myself. Now let's look at the second single, and again, the biggest song that they ever did, in my opinion, in terms of, you know, like putting them on the map or whatever you want to call it. And that is Killing Me Softly. So there's an original version of this song called Killing Me Softly with his song. And that was done by Charles Fox with the lyrics done by Norman Gimbel. So that's pretty interesting. Now we will look at the Fugees version. This one came out May 31st, 1996. And it was recorded in 1995. And let's see. They covered the song with this version right here. So this version sampled a 1990 song, Bonita Applebum, by A Tribe Called Quest from their debut album, People's Extensive Travels in the Paths of Rhythm. So that's pretty interesting. And let's see. Killing Me Softly, oh, here's some background info, was the last song the Fugees recorded for the score, which is this album actually, after member Pras made the suggestion to cover it. They wanted to, and I quote here, see how we can create breakbeat. And of course, we all love A Tribe Called Quest, and we went in like, okay, let's cut that sample, end quote. Then they added a bass reggae drop. Initially, the Fugees wanted to change the lyrics of the song to make it anti-drug, anti-poverty, but the songwriters, Norman Gimbel and Charles Fox, refused. That's pretty interesting right here. Yes, there is a music video. So actually, this is interesting. The music video, directed by Azwa Ayande, Ayinde, and based on Lauryn Hill's ideas, never came out commercially in America. The video features Roberta Flack, so that's very interesting. Also, there's a Bounty Killer remix for this track. They recorded a dancehall version with Bounty Killer rapping and Hill singing a rewritten chorus. However, they did not receive permission to release it on the scores. That's very, oh my God. I'm looking at these charts. I'm gonna try to make this as easy as possible to read all this. So here we go. It was number 6 in both the Canada Top Singles charts and the Canada Adult Contemporary chart. It was number 8 on the Spain chart, number 2 in the Poland charts, the U.S. Radio Songs chart. I think that's new. That was done by Philip or whatever. 30th on the U.S. Adult Contemporary charts, 20th on the U.S. Adult Top 40, 48th on the U.S. Dance Club Songs chart. And it was number 1 in the following: Australia, Austria, Belgium, Ultra Top 50 Flanders and Ultra Top 50 Wallonia, Canada Dance Other, I'm going to call this dance, but okay. Czech Republic, Denmark, Europe, Finland, France, Germany, Hungary, my bad, Iceland, Ireland, Italy, both Netherlands charts, the Dutch Top 40 and the Singles Top 100, New Zealand, Norway, Scotland, Sweden, Switzerland, the UK Singles, the UK R&B, the US Mainstream Top 40, the US Rhythmic chart, and they refer to that remix featuring Bounty Killer, and Zimbabwe. Ooh, that's a new chart. And by the end of the year, 1996, it was number 2 in Australia, Austria, the Belgian Ultra Top 50 Flanders, Canada Dance Urban charts, Italy, New Zealand, Sweden, and US Rhythmic charts. And it was number 1 in the following: the Belgian Ultra Top 50 Wallonia, Germany, Iceland, Netherlands, and the UK Singles chart. And it was 43rd in the Canada Top Singles chart, 72nd on the Canada Adult Contemporary chart, number 4 in Europe, number 5 in France, number 4 in the Netherlands, the Top 40, number 2 in New Zealand, I mentioned the number 2, number 6 in Switzerland, and number 11 in the US Mainstream Top 40. In all-time charts, it was 46 in the UK Singles chart. And of course, we got to talk about sales and certifications. It was platinum in Austria with 50,000 copies sold, same in Belgium. Platinum in France with 650,000 copies sold. Platinum in New Zealand with 10,000 copies sold. Platinum in Norway, they didn't mention the sales. Double platinum in Germany with 1 million copies sold. And double platinum in the UK with 1.2 million copies sold. It was gold in Italy with 2,500 copies sold, same in Sweden and Switzerland. And it was triple platinum in Australia with 210,000 copies sold. Nothing on the US, so that's pretty interesting if you ask me. So yeah, like I said, this is commercially their best song ever, without question. Let's move on to my all-time favorite Fuji song, Ready or Not. This joint came out August 29th, 1996, and it was recorded in 1995. And yes, there is a music video for this as well. So, the song contains a sample of Bodega by new age singer Enya from her first solo album, Enya. You know, there you go. So let's see. Now here's the thing though. Enya considered suing the Fugees because they had sampled her song, without her permission. She stated, and I quote, "We were actually on the verge of suing them because of the copyright infringement, because they just didn't approach us. It was a case of I wasn't featured at all on the credits, and it, referring to the sample, was very much a part of the song," end quote. However, the singer reached an agreement with the Fugees on an out-of-court settlement after she realized that their music wasn't gangster rap. According to Wyclef, and I'm quoting here, "Luckily, when Enya heard everything, she was like, this is different, and she gave us a pass, which she don't even need to do." End quote. The situation was a learning experience for the group, who at the time were unaware of copyright clearance and unfamiliar with publishing procedures. So that's pretty much interesting. Now the song chorus, which is based on Radio Night Here I Come, Can't Hide From Love by the Delphonics, which was a addition suggestion by Wyclef, so that's pretty interesting. Reflecting on the recording process, Pras said, and I quote, "At one point, the group had disbanded. Lauryn had left the group at this point, and we didn't know what we were going to do. She calls me and says, listen, I'm going to come down to the studio, and I'm going to lay down a reference for you guys, a hook. I give you permission to use my hook, my voice, but I don't want to be a part of this group anymore. I said, fair enough, no problem. She said, make sure certain people are not around when I'm there. I said, no problem. She laying the reference for Radio Night, and then she goes into the bridge and she's crying. I see her crying. She stops and says, I can't do this anymore, and leaves. A couple months later, she rejoins the group. She said, let's do Radio Night again because I was crying. It was emotional. She goes in the studio to do Radio Night again. She was in there 5 hours doing the hook. Every hit is incredible, but we go back and say, there's something about that reference. I don't know if we can touch that. We end up keeping the reference. That's what the world has come to hear. There's something about that record. That's magic. Wow, so that's some interesting stuff right there, if you ask me. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to read off the charts. Oh, God. So, it was 24th in Australia, 17th in Austria, number 6 in both Belgium charts. We all know what they are by now. 54th in the Canada Adult Contemporary charts, 18th in the Canada Dance/Urban charts, 5th in Denmark, 3rd in Europe, 2nd in Finland, 8th in Germany, number 1 in Iceland, number 2 in Ireland, 6th in Italy, number 3 in both Netherlands charts, we know what they are, number 8 in New Zealand and in Norway, 5th in Scotland, 3rd in Sweden, 23rd in Switzerland, number 1 in both UK single charts and UK R&B charts, which is rare, 22nd in the US R&B/hip hop airplay charts, and 31st on the US Britman charts. By the end of the year, 1996, it was 99th in Australia, 74th in the Ultra Top 50 Flanders, Belgium, 42nd in the Ultra Top 50 Wallonia, also Belgium, 44th in Europe, 54th in Germany, 21st in Ireland, 80th in the Netherlands Dutch Top 40, 63rd in the Netherlands Singles Top 100, 34th in New Zealand, 40th in Sweden, and 24th in the UK single charts. Now this is interesting. By the end of the year 2013, like over a decade later, it was 128th in France, and it got a platinum certification in the UK with 600,000 copies sold. Okay, so it did a little something there. Now, the fourth and final single off of this album is called No Woman, No Cry, which is, I believe, is a cover for By Marley and the Railers song. So that's their version, actually. So, yeah. And this was released November 15, 1996, and it was recorded in 1995. And let's see. The song was produced by Salon Remy, the Fugees version of the track, featuring Wyclef on the lead voice, and changed the lyrics, and I quote, in a government yard in Trenchtown to in a government yard in Brooklyn. And there is an official remix of the track featuring Steph and Marley, was included on the group's third release, bootleg versions. That's interesting. And Wyclef recorded a solo version of the track for his greatest hits compilation in 2003. Now, we got some charts here, and it's not that long, so I can cover that real quick. It was 20th in Australia, 40th in Austria, 31st in the Belgian Ultra Top 50 Flanders, 11th on the Belgian Ultra Top 50 Wallonia, 7th in Denmark, 14th in Europe, 6th in Finland, 12th in France, 33rd in Germany, 5th in Ireland, 15th in Italy, 21st in the Netherlands Dutch Top 40, 22nd in the Netherlands Singles Top 100, that's funny. Number 1 in New Zealand, 7th in Scotland, 14th in Sweden, 23rd in Switzerland, number 2 in the UK Singles Charts, number 1 in the UK R&B Charts, and 38th in the US Radio Songs Chart. By the end of the year, 1996, it was 74th in the UK Singles Charts and 15th in Ireland. And it did get some certifications. It was gold in New Zealand with 5,000 copies sold, and it was silver in the UK with 200,000 copies sold. So here's an interesting thing about the music video part. So there was no music video for the original Fuji version of this song. However, there is a music video for the remix, which I find to be very interesting. So that's the one that features Steve Marley. So that is very interesting if you ask me. All right, so with that out the way, let me give you guys my best tracks off this album from worst to first. So before that, the red intro and pretty much the outro as well. The beat was borderline cool / really cool if you ask me. The tempo was a bit too slow for my taste. Otherwise, it would have been really cool without question. Now, the beats is the worst track off this album, but only by comparison. The tempo is cool. The melody is cool / really cool. The bass is cool. The kick is borderline cool / really cool. Same with the snare. Overall, the track was just cool. Next up, No Woman, No Cry. The tempo is borderline cool / really cool. The melody is cool. The bass is borderline cool / really cool. The kick is cool. The snare is really cool. Overall, the track is cool. Then we got Zero Lots. Tempo is cool, same with the melody. The bass is really cool. The kick is cool / really cool, same with the snare. Overall, the track is cool. Then we got Manifest. The tempo is really cool. The melody is cool / really cool. The bass is cool, same with the kick, and the snare is cool / really cool. Overall, the track was cool, but the drums could have been better if you ask me. I think the drums held this track back a bit because that melody, it was really dope if you ask me. Then we got Fuji Live. Tempo is really cool. The melody is cool, same with the bass and the kick. The snare is really cool. Overall, the track is cool. Then we got Killing Me Softly. This is a classic right here. The tempo is really cool. The melody is cool, but lackluster. The bass is really cool. The kick is cool. The snares is, even though the kick and the snare are samples, but they, the snare is cool / really cool. Overall, the track is really cool. Then we got Family Business. Tempo is really cool. The melody is really cool as well. It needs a bass though. The kick is cool. The snare is really cool. Overall, the track is really cool as the lack of a bass hurt this one. Then we got The Mask. The tempo is cool. The melody is really cool. Same with the bass. The kick is cool. The snare is really cool. Overall, the track is really cool. Then we got How Many Mics. The tempo is borderline cool / really cool. The melody is really cool. The synth bass is cool. The kick is really cool. The snare is borderline cool / really cool. Overall, the track is really cool. All right, top 3 tracks off this album. Third best track off this album is Cowboys. And the one thing I failed to mention about Cowboys is this. Even though I want to say it is not officially recognized as a single, however, it do have a music video. So that's interesting. But Cowboys is the third best track off this album. The tempo is cool. The melody is really cool. Same with the bass and the kick and the snare. The track is really cool without question. Second best track off this album is Ready or Not. This is a classic right here. The tempo is really cool. The melody is really cool. The bass is cool. The kick is really cool. Same with the snare. Overall, the track is really cool. So I think I said that Ready or Not was the best Fuji track ever. What I probably should have said was that's the best single that they put out. Because the number 1 track off this album is The Score. The tempo is cool / really cool. The melody is borderline really cool, excellent. So it's at that borderline. The bass is really cool. The kick is cool / really cool. So it's at that borderline. The snare is excellent. Overall, the track is really cool. The Score is the best track off this album, followed by Ready or Not and then Cowboys. So let me give you guys some professional ratings real quick. So All Music gave it 5 out of 5 stars. The Chicago Tribune gave it a 3.5 out of 4 stars. The Christgau Consumer Guide gave it an A. The Encyclopedia of Popular Music gave it a 5 out of 5 stars. Entertainment Weekly gave it an A. The LA Times gave it, 3.5 out of 4 stars. Q gave it 4 out of 5 stars. The Rolling Stones gave it 3 out of 5 stars. Wow. But the Rolling Stones album guy gave it 4.5 out of 5 stars. And Spin gave it a 9 out of 10. So more importantly, what do I think about this album? Okay, this is a really good album. They have a lot of good tracks. There were some tracks that was cool, but they had a lot of tracks that were really cool. I'm gonna give this album a 4.5 out of 5. If you have a physical copy of this album, congratulations, you're smart. If you don't, I would say either download it. No, this is one of those ones where you should like download it, like you buy it and download it and you keep it, or you go get a physical copy. You know, it's really a good of an album if you ask me. So yeah, 4 out of 5. I'm not 4 out of 5, 4.5 out of 5, my bad. Either, and you should pay for this one. You should pay for this one, whether it's digitally or a physical copy. You should pay for this album without question. And I'm gonna call it a wrap. So with all that said, y'all know who this is. This is boy New Jake Gatsby, aka the new Stephen A. Smith, saying peace out, y'all, and I'll see y'all next time. Yeah.